Hi guys, it's Sarah from I Swear I'm Stitching. Today is January 26th, 2024. This is episode 85. This is a Flosstube where I talk about cross stitch. Sometimes I sew, sometimes I knit. I do it so infrequently that it's not worth making their own videos for. So sorry if you don't want other crafts tacked on. I like to talk about them because I like them. I actually did a bit of stitching since I last saw you. I think I am going to stick to every 2 weeks for a little while I'm playing my game because I'm really addicted to it. Baldur's Gate 3. Love it. Makes me want to go back and play Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 again, and then Icewind Dale, and then all those other similar games. I never finished Neverwinter Nights. Oh, anyway, tangent. What's I saying? Yeah, so while I'm stitching, I'm not getting a lot in. I actually, when I first started playing, the first few days, I got a lot of EPPing in, English paper piecing, because my computer is too old for the game, and there was such a lag between dialogue that I could literally stitch 1 or 2 sides of a hexagon in between conversation points. Yeah. But after like 3 days, my husband and I finally stole my son's laptop and set it up, and I've been using that. And then when he comes home, he gets it back, so then obviously I focus more on my crafting and blah 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 blah. But yeah, you don't care. Let's get into it. Excuse me. I have no, dang it. Excuse me. Cross stitch finished objects. Not surprising. I do have a sewing finished object, but I'll talk about. Usually I do those first. I'll do it last since it's sewing, and most of you aren't here for that. But let me see what I did work on today. This past 2 weeks. Okay. I also, this week has been full of dog pooping in my house, IBS attacks, pulled muscle in my neck that went down to my back, and for like a day and a half I could barely move, and if I needed to look at something I had to full body turn. But now I'm getting better. I can turn all the way that way, and I can turn about there before it starts to hurt. So getting better. So if I do a lot of while I'm reaching, because it's not the most comfortable. So I worked on my At the Met. Sorry, just remembered something I had to write down. If I don't write down, I'll forget it. I have a brain like Swiss cheese. So I'm working on At the Met by Mirabilia. I started this at the same time and on the same fabric, fun enough, with Julie from Kansas City Girl in Colorado World. Excuse me. I'm enjoying it. I'm really, right now, just digging the mindlessness that is the black here in her skirt. But, yeah. I'm waiting for Julie to see what she does with her skin tone. She's like, look how white she is. To see if I'm going to switch as well. That's probably a ways off, though. Look, I don't have anything else to say about her. I've kind of got a schedule going for this month, where on Mondays I work on fandom stitching prompts. Whatever fits into the prompts for the week, month, whatever. Tuesday is I've been trying to work on my Hade. Wednesdays are Witchy Stitcher. That's where I do my Sals, which I finished my monthlies for this month, so I'm super proud of myself. Thursdays are Mira. Fridays are my EPP quilt. The weekends or whatever. It's like I don't have to work just on those days, but if I haven't worked on them at all yet, then I definitely put some time into them. But anyways, At the Met, Mirabilia, I'm using all the called for fabrics and sorry, all the called for flosses for now. Like I said, the skin tone's up for possible changing. And I'm doing it 2/2 on 32 count Crimson Peak by Jodi of Steel City Stitchers. So right now I'm just totally, I didn't even finish that line, totally into the black of the skirt. Just mindlessness, plus probably cut off around here and then work on filling in the skirt and then filling in the sash. I'm missing some colors, which drives me crazy, so I can't fill in everything. I don't know how I can have, like, I bobbinate, except for my fancy flosses. I just leave them on whatever tag they come on. But, I don't know how I can have literally six and a half floss boxes and still be missing colors. I don't understand how that happens, but here it is. She's been fun to work on. I've been vibing on her black. And then I'll show you. Oh, I'll show you my Witchy Stitcher sals that I'm done for the month, because I told you I hadn't seen any sals anywhere for this year that I wanted to join. So, and I really wanted to get these, the Cryptid and the Supernatural, done. So I decided, well, that's my own personal sal. I know that I won't finish it in a year if I just work on one block a month, but that's my goal, is to do at least one block a month. If I do more, great. I mean, I also got to chip away at that, those borders. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I am doing, okay, Cryptid from the Witchy Stitcher. I was going to start with Mothman, but I didn't, because one of the prompts for Phantom Stitching the other week was twins, and so I used the twin little night crawlers, and so I started on that block. And part of me is not sure I want to do Mothman next. Like, maybe next month I want to do Bigfoot. Or go down and do the Jersey Devil. I don't know yet. We'll see. I'm going to work on some border. And then, especially the top. I got to finish the top border. And then, the first week I work on it for February, I'll see what a prompt is in Phantom Stitching. And if any of these fit it, that's how I'll decide. We'll see. But I am working on 32 count pink chocolate Lugana from the Stitch Me. Oh, there's our little night crawler. My night crawlers. Wait a second. See, I gotta finish up. I gotta go down to finish. I got just a little bit more there, and then I gotta work on the borders. How cute they are. I'm gonna be truthful. I don't know what a night crawler is. I should have. She probably has information on it. But I should look it up, so I know what I'm working on. That's one I'm definitely not familiar with. I actually have a cryptid calendar right there, and it's the first month is Bigfoot. I think they went with the Bigfoot for the January, but there we go. That's why I finished it. Yay! Outline and all. So I'll still work on this Witchy Wednesdays to make sure I get work on it on Wednesdays. I'll just work on the border. And oh shit, I don't have a full cover picture of Supernatural, so let me show you on my phone. There it is. Okay, Supernatural from Witchy Stitcher. And that's like, you get the joy of color for that since it's on my phone. And I started with, I was going to start with Siren anyways, but it worked out perfectly that fit a prompt for Phantom Stitching. So I stuck with her. There she is. Didn't change anything about her. And I'm doing her on using all the, I think, is this the one I'm using Anchor on, or was that the other one I'm using? Yeah, this one I'm using Anchor Black, because I had a spool of it. And I'm almost out of it, so I'm going to have to find more. But it's 2/2, 32 count linen from Stitch Me After the Harvest. So they're companion pieces, but not, like, I didn't want the fabrics to match. Like, this is like a gray, it's like a mauve undertone. Another one's like pinky mauve, I don't know. But there she is. Back stitch it all. See, I don't know why I got so much more done on this when I was preparing, because it was just, at the time, my eyes weren't handling Lugana very well. Especially the tighter Lugana. So, but this linen's always like pretty darn easy to stitch on. So I like pretty much zip through the top border of this one. So that's why when I, since I'm done with the monthlies, when I do work on Wednesdays, I'm going to focus on cryptid, get some more border on that done. And I'm not sure who I'll do next for Supernatural. Okay, okay. I might do Banshee under her. The werewolf is pretty freaking adorable. But I will see again if there is a prompt that any of these fit. And if not, I'll just go with whichever one I feel like at the time. Look at the moon behind the werewolf. Okay, I may do the werewolf. I'll probably do the werewolf if a prompt doesn't inspire me to do a different block. Okay. And then I worked on my son's 7 Colorful Birds from Sheila, it's from DMC, but Sheila from Mrs. Stitcher sent it to me. And it is such a fun little stitch. It is very enjoyable. Got bags inside bags inside bags. Okay. There's a picture of the 7 Colorful Birds. There they are. Look how cute they are. 7 Colorful Birds, DMC. Again, I'm missing some thread colors. Missing like a dark yellow. The only bird I don't like is that bird. I think it's kind of ugly. But that's the currently the bird I'm working on. Get him done and over with. The other ones are all adorable. He's my favorite, and I'm glad he's in the middle where I started. I love him. He's so cute. Using all the call for DMCs, and I am using 18 count Ada from Kaylee of Kaylee 10 Stitch of the Sewing Shop ink. You can't see it's on my fridge. Or I don't know. I pointed there. Sewing Shop ink. It is 18 count Sunrise Shibori. I hope I'm saying that right. Oh, look at that fabric. It's so fabulous. My son absolutely loves the way it's coming along. Look how cute he is. I'm thinking for their eyes, I might do beads, like a black bead in their eyes. Because it's going to be a decorative pillow for him. I'm going to make it, it's going to be a lot of space around them because I want to have as much of the fabric as possible. But he doesn't care. He's going to love it. And he loves this fabric. He picked it out. I mean, I shouldn't have given it as one of the Ada options because it is 18 count, so his decorative pillow would be like very small if I didn't use most of the fabric. But he liked it. This is what he wanted. And I love my kid, and he loves birds. So he gets a bird on some prized Kaylee fabric. How cute that bird is. Oh my gosh. This is such a fun stitch. I could have easily done 1/1. But I like how full it looks. Sometimes it'd be a pain in the butt to stitch, but it does look, the stitching looks really nice. And there's that stupid pink and yellow bird I'm not enjoying. But I loved him so much. Oh. Like I may just do him alone and make him into a little pillow for my dough bowl. He's so cute. Because my dough bowl has room. I don't have any room for anything in my dough bowl. I just keep shoving things in it. You can't even see what half these pillows have on them. So my dough bowl is a full. Excuse me. And then I worked on oh yeah. I got a fair chunk of this done. I was very happy that this was a prompt for Fandom Stitching was based off artwork, and this is based off of Japanese artwork. The Japanese artwork of the wave doesn't have the red moon, sun, whatever that is. But this is The Wave by Trina Mestakova from Fireplace Hobby. I do not enjoy working on this. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the white. It's probably the white. But I usually don't enjoy working on it. But I had to do 300 stitches on it, and I got in a groove. And honestly, kind of didn't want to put it down once I got flowing. But then I put it down and realized how much more I still have to go. And I was like, yeah, you're going away. Because now I realize how much more I still have to do. I'm done with you. Because I'm like working on the top section. Because I had been working like around the sun moon thing. I was like, I'm going to work here. Get a lot of that white done. And then just... So when I took it off the Q-snap and realized I still have all that to do, I was like, yeah, I'm done. But it's looking lovely, and I can't wait to have it done, and it's going to be so pretty. I just don't like working on it. It is a DMC. It is on 28 count Lugana from Caleb. The Lugana is fabulous. Like, this 28 count is... I mean, 28 count in general is pretty easy to work on. It's pretty big, but this is like butter. But not so soft. It's... Okay, I don't want to say butter like, it's so soft, it's hard to work with, because sometimes it can be that way. Just like butter, like smooth and nice to work with, and that color is way off. That's better. But what's it called? Like denim? I thought it was called denim, but could have no name. But yeah, I got like all this done. So like, yeah, I'm on a roll. I'm really feeling, I'm vibing, and I got all this white, and I didn't hate every stitch of that white. And then I realized I still have, and I was done. I got my 300 stitches in, and I was done. That's, again, one reason why I love tandem stitching. It is no pressure, but the prompts, you know, I do the lowest possible one for the week, 100 stitches, and it makes me get work done on things. And then the monthlies, I tend to do just the lower ones as well. Sometimes I do a big one. Anyways. It just helps me touch things that I would be like, I don't know. And then I kind of get in the groove, and I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of enjoying it. So, like, it's really helps me power through things I know I'm going to love when they're finished. And I'm going to love having around. I just don't actively enjoy stitching on them. I don't hate them. If I hate them, I wouldn't do it. I mean, I have UFO'd some things. I seriously consider UFOing my Hade, to be honest. Because I'm just not sure I'm a full coverage person. But, do you guys hear that? It's like a baby dying in my backyard. Oh, it's gotta be a wild animal. But anyways, what was I saying? Oh, but I love her so much. She's so beautiful that I'm gonna stick through it. I'm gonna stick through it. I'm gonna get her done. All right. But we're not talking about her right now. Right now we're talking about Plum Street Samplers Polar Pack. I worked on that a little bit. Got just a little bit of the bottom polar bear done. Not a lot. I think it was like 100 stitches on something winter. And that is from Plum Street Samplers. And this is 32 count Lugana and Aquarius by Bestitch Me. You'll notice the theme. There's a lot of Bestitch Me fabric. I was in her club. She's one of my favorite dyers. Color and Cotton's one of my favorite too. But I quit their club before Bestitch Me because money. And then I did a bunch of Bestitch Me boxes, which have like 4 or 5 things of fabric in them. So I have more. And then my beloved Kaylee sends me fabric, so I use a lot of her fabric. Oh, so fabulous. In that regard, I'm spoiled. Okay. So 32 count Lugana and Aquarius. This is the tight Lugana, 32 count. So it's 1 thread over 2, and it looks beautiful. Oh, right. That is the color of that fabric right there. Look how pretty that fabric is. It's going to wash out as soon as I pull it up. See? Oh. Yep, so just got some of the polar bear's butt. Sorry, hit that on his butt. Some of the polar bear butt. I really hate white, you guys. I really hate white. This is one where, again, I'm glad that I have fandom stitching to help me touch it because I love it. Polar bears are one of my favorite animals. And so I desperately want this done. It uses one of my favorite reds, which I can never remember. It's Licorice Red from Classic Colorworks. It's one of my favorite reds. I think I'd have the name memorized. But again, Swiss cheese brain. So, another one I can't wait to have done, but I'm not enjoying. And only because it's so much white. Look, it's 3 polar bears. I think the baby polar bear on top is not white. I think he's like... What are you? Like off-white? Oh, whatever, close enough. He's white. And then lastly this week, I did touch my Hade. She's a big girl. She's way over here. Okay. Just a couple hundred, literally like a little over 200 half stitches on her. And I just decided I was going to work on a page, focus on a page finish. Instead of bouncing around and doing like focusing on black, which is over multiple pages. But I decided for the ease of my brain to just do the black. But here she is. Oh, Nefertiti. Isn't she just the most beautiful thing you've ever seen? Gosh, she's gonna take me she's gonna take me a lifetime. That's why one reason why I don't think I might not ever finish her, because I don't thought of having something on the go for that many years. Like, this is gonna take like 10 years at least. We'll see. She's so pretty. But the artwork is by Mandy Mazzano, and I'm using DMC, doing 2/1 10 stitch on 25 count easy count Lugana. I literally just did this chunk of black. I was gonna focus on this page. Get all that filled in. I have old lady eyes, and once things start getting like this, where I have to find little spots to fill in, my eyes have a real hard time seeing the holes, like where I'm supposed to put my needle. It's gonna be hard for me. This is gonna be a messy stitch. It's okay. Well, I have to look at it on the wall eventually one day. And I kind of wish I had done 1/1 crosses, because I think that's easier for my brain. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think that would have been easier for my brain. The half stitch is so fast though. 10 stitch. And I wish that I could look at a pattern and like just know where it goes in these squares, but I can never remember from day to day if this top line is my first line or if I started under it. So I still count. I'm still looking at a pattern, counting the stitches, and I'm still counting. I don't know if the grid is actually helping me at all. I think I could probably do it without the grid, quite honestly. Because again, I can never remember. Like, I honestly, looking at it right now, I'm not sure. I think that's the top line. So okay, so I must start my blocks on the line. Hades are hard for me. But there she is. There's the top of her. That's it's gonna take me so long. She's so pretty though. So pretty. Kinda wish like there was no background. I could do just her like on a colored. Too late now. Anyways. Too late. This is where I'm at. This is what I'm doing. I am not starting over. She's gonna be beautiful in 35 years. I may have to have her put in the box with me when they cremate me. If she's not finished, just out of spite. Alright guys, that's all I did the past 2 weeks, stitching wise. If you want to hear a little bit about sewing, stick around. If not, hey, it was good to see you. Thanks for coming by. I have no haul to show you. That's it. You guys got nothing. And no life updates. Some kids at college, my other kids at his grandma's, working at the garage. My husband works. Mother dog is still in mourning over the loss of our dog. I'm still in mourning over the loss of our dog. It snowed, it was great, and then it rained and it sucks. That's my life. But, okay. Sewing. I was mopey, and I didn't have my, my son had come home for the weekend, took his laptop back, so I wasn't playing my video game, and I was mopey. So I decided, you know what, I think I'm ready to watch a bunch of Flosstube again and catch up. because I had stopped watching when my dog passed and I was depressed. And I went to go watch, and there was like, you know, recommended video for binding, and I was like, man, I hate binding. Well, I love hand binding, hand sewing the binding on, but my miters never look good, and so I was like, I always like to watch like a binding video just to see if there's any new tips or tricks that I do not know. And it was one on machine binding, and it was from someone I subscribe to. I can't remember now. Is it Off Kilter Ian? Might have been Off Kilter Crafter Ian. But anyway, it sent me down a rabbit hole looking at other sewing videos, and I now subscribe to Sew Becca and Carolina Moore. So I fell down a rabbit hole of watching their videos, and then I decided I was going to try. I machine bound one quilt, and that's the Scrappy Crappy Ugly quilt I made for Daisy. I made my dog Amber a quilt. I'll get it for you and show it to you. I can't remember if I showed it to you on here before. One moment. It's now my quilt. It sits on my office chair. But this is a quilt I made for Amber. That do her coloring. So it's, I can't remember who the designer is. Paper pattern. Oh, I can't remember. But just this little quilt. It's got doggies on it. That was the quilt I made for my dog. I don't have a quilt for myself, you guys, but my dog has a quilt. Anyways, so I made her that quilt. And then everyone gave me shit about how mean I was for not making Daisy a quilt. So Daisy's my least favorite dog. She's my only dog now. But she's not my favoriteest dog in the world. She's more my kid's dog. So I just got a bunch of scrappy, random blocks and stripped jelly roll strips I had lying around, the ugly ones I didn't plan to use for anything, and I made her this quilt. And I was like, I'm not hand binding this, is for Daisy. So I just improvised, did what I thought you should do, and machine bound a binding on it. She's laying on it, or I'd show you it. It's hideous. But what was I saying? Oh, so I never really actually looked into how to properly machine bind. So then I found that there's, you know, 2 ways to do it. You can sew the binding on the back, flip it to the front, and then sew on the very edge of that front binding. I guess not really caring where it falls in the back. And then one where you can sew it to the front, flip it to the back, and sew along like in the ditch of the binding in the front so it catches the back. I did the first one. I also I use Q-snaps, and when I hand bind, I fold, Q-snap, sew on the back. Not Q-snap. They're little clips, not Q-snaps. These little things. Wonder clips. And, you know, that's great. But then I keep seeing people talking about glue basting the binding down, like all the binding down, so that it's done. You don't have to worry about flipping it. And you can just bind a little, put it, I don't know. It seemed like an idea. Like I could, if I glue did the whole thing and hand bound, I could sew a little bit, put it down, pick it up, sew it up. I don't know what I was thinking. Because you know what I hated? I hated glue basting those hexies for this bag. I hated glue basting these. I am the kind of person where, I'll show you, I have some hexies right here. My bag of extra hexies from a project. I sew my hexies on the back. That's how I do it. I like that. I'm the kind of person where, that's why I like hand binding. The action of sewing is soothing and calming to me and rhythmic, and I get lost in it. So I don't like glue, and I found out from that bag I hated glue basting hexies. So I'm not sure why I thought I would like glue basting a quilt binding. I hated it. I used Elmer's glue, which I thought was, I'm like, great, this is my chance to use that Elmer's glue I bought my kids in middle school that they never used, and it's sitting in my closet of like school supplies. One's in college and one's 19. I mean, we don't need the glue. Sounds like great, I can use the glue up. So I decided to whip together using some extra those charm packs from my Missouri Star quilt. I Advent, I was like, I'll make myself a little coffee table runner because my husband is a slob and he drinks fruit punch, which is red, which stains everything. So if I make anything for the coffee table, I cannot love it. So I was like, this is very pastel. I'm not going to love it, but it'll be good for spring. And if he stains it up and I decide it's too stained to look at, I can just throw it away and I'm not going to be heartbroken. So this is what I made. It's wonky as hell. I don't know what I was doing on my stitching, but can you see how like the squares are all, look at them, like super wonk. I don't know what is going on, but look how pastel that is. Oh, I used the ugly purple I don't like. It's purple I have left over from, I used it in my doggy's quilt too, but quilt I made my daughter had like a gradient of purples from dark to light, and so this is light purple she picked, and I don't like it. But anyways, so I glue basted it, hated that. Look how wonky that base, hated that. I just stitched in the ditch between the rows then, because like again, it's just a coffee run that I'll probably throw away when my husband stains it up. So I glued it on, and then I attached it to the back, and then I flipped it. No, I attached it to the back, flipped it, glued it, hated that, and then tried to sew along the edge. I used an edge foot, stitched in the ditch foot, and you know, I had it along the edge and moved the needle over. I should have moved the needle over a little more. I wanted as close as possible to the edge because I don't like big, like flippy floppy edges, but I should have moved it in a little bit more. And then I sewed, and I missed some spots, like it went off. And then when I was pulling it forward to glue it, it got all sorts of uneven. And then my miters on my back, on the front of my quilts usually always look really good, like pretty good. And then the backs always look like a hot mess. So now the front is the hot mess because that's where I fold it down. And I suck at folding I just can't do it. And then on this one, I had the binding joint in one corner. Look at that ugly ass corner because it's so thick, and because that's where the binding came together. It's just, so I've learned that I think this is how I bound Daisy's quilt basically. So it's easy. You'll do in a pinch. I'm not going to do it regularly. I'm never going to glue base down binding again, ever. And there's my wonky ass table runner. Coffee for my coffee table. It's too bad because some of this fabric is really pretty. Look how pastel that is. Oh my god, it's so pastel. But yeah. Like sometimes the back looks pretty decent. Like it caught a little bit of the binding on the back, but I used a matching thread and can't even see it. And then sometimes it goes totally off the rails. And then of course that ugly ass corner where everything came together. So I will make another small project that I don't care about with some scraps and try the binding from the front where you flip it to the back and then you stitch in the ditch right along the edge here, and you're supposed to pull it back enough here that it catches the back. We'll see if I can manage to catch the back. But it's fun to try new things. Like I said, I fell down a rabbit hole of quilting videos. Carolina Moore, I really liked her. She's really easy to watch, and Off Kilter Crafter Ian, he has great energy. So Becca, I think I only watched 1 or 2 of her videos so far. But Off Kilter Crafter Ian, I've been following him for a while. Like I said, he's got great energy. I love him. And then Carolina Moore, she's very easy to watch. Very oh man, look, I broke it. Soothing is not the right word. Like, I don't know, I just watched like a lot of her videos in a row, and she does advents, which I'm going to try to get this year. She did like a diamond one where she gives you a pattern. I think this is how they work every year. At least this is the one I watched. I watched all the advent videos. It's like 12 days or 24 days. And the first 12 days you get templates. And then you might not get one every day, a template every day. You get a lot of templates. And then you make a little mini like a little mini project, and it was out of diamonds this time, and it looked, I don't know, it looked fun and easy, and she made it seem fun and easy, and I'm going to try to get her advent this year. And then I just kept on watching her videos, like even stuff I wasn't, like I'm never going to make that. I'll watch it. Watch cross stitching because it's just, she was real easy to watch. I'd recommend her. And I think she has a shop, and she's invented things like rulers that glow, like rulers that light up. She had a really good idea to have, sell those little, basically I think they're floss. When you floss, you know, you have the thing that cuts the floss, just to sell those to attach to things as like thread cutters, which I'm like, I need those for some of my bags so that I don't have to have scissors and everything. So she's really cool. Anyways, give her a watch. And then I had, my last thing I'll talk about sewing wise is I had, oh, just throwing stuff at myself. Someone, oh, sorry, I can't remember who, say that they wanted to see my hexagon project that I'm pulling back out and trying to work on. I started this thing November of 2019. Because one of my favorite things about hexagon projects is making the hexagons. Is doing this. These are my spares. It's a rainbow hexagon quilt. This is like one of my favorite things. I spent, I don't know how long making these at work. Like I just took my little kit and I just made a bunch of them at work, and that's like one of my favorite parts. But then I got to sew them together and make a quilt, and I'm like, that's probably not my favorite part because I have to bend it weird. Anyways, it is the Over the Rainbow quilt by Tatcha Brucher, Tacha Bruecher. Sorry. Can't find an actual picture of the quilt. There it is. She used white in hers. I will not be using white because, again, I hate white. I will use a gray. So you make the hexagon blocks, the hexagons, and you cut them down, and you put white around them, and then a color around them, and then sashing around them. I'm not sure if I'll do the little tiny border. I might actually do that little tiny white, the border in white, and then the rest in gray, just to make the blocks pop more. I don't know. That's a long way off, my friends. That is a long way off. Okay, there's a better picture. Okay. See, you got the hexagons. And then you got the little tiny white border and the border of the colors that are used in the blocks, and then the sashing and shit. So I may do all this in gray, but maybe I will do the white, little tiny white strip there, just again to make it pop. What do you guys think? Is that stupid? Does that look weird? So again, I started this in 2019 from Hexagogo. I got other projects I want to do in it, but God knows when I'll get to that. And I have transferred it over to my Missouri Star quilt bag that I got in the advent. And I even have a little label in there and a little hexie. It just says hexie rainbow. So, oh, my arm. So this is how I have it set up in here. So I did take out my little, there you go, extra needles. And then this is some extra hexie papers. Threads that match. Not all the threads in here. I took out one of the threads because I was actively stitching on something. So my reds, no, that's right there. There's a thread missing. I'm not sure what color now. Because my little pin cushion's not there. And then when I do hexies, oh, here it is. It was a red. It was a different red. Okay. I like to use the Quilter's basting needles when I do my hexies. They're long and thin. I feel like I have more control over my needle. I've tried smaller needles, like shorter needles, but these are my favorite for hexies. So I stocked up and I started redoing them. And this is my pile of stuff. Oh no, what's going on? What am I grabbing? Oh, I have those ones held down because there's like a suitcase thing that holds them down, the ones that are finished. But I have them grouped together in colors, like the blue and green grouping, red and pink grouping, because the blocks are 6 strips. I got a bunch of those to do. I'll show you like an example of a finished block. Well, that one's all bent. It's bent up. But. So there's a finished block, and then I'll trim it at the borders. I mean, I got more in there, but they're strapped down, so I'm not getting them out. But can you see how many I still have to do? Look at that giant pile of strips I need to sew into blocks. So that's what a finished block looks like. And this is the one I'm currently working on. And the 2 more strips here. And I can't remember. Wish I'd written this down. I've never heard of it before. Flat back stitch. So when I EPP, I don't have my needle. Okay. So when it gets to be this stage and I have to sew together, I have to fold it, crease it, hold it. It can be a little bit unwieldy, and I know some people like, the actual one they're working on, they keep the papers in, so when you attach to it, it's good, and then they'll remove the papers from ones they aren't doing anymore. It makes it easier because obviously it folds easier, and I keep them in until the end, which I always regret. Because when it comes time to take them out, I'm like, there's so many papers to take out. But I like the way they hold up in the bag. So in storage. So I keep the papers in the whole time. I don't know. But like when you get to like a middle in here, you gotta fold it like this, hold it down, stitch it. It can be a little unwieldy. So I've never ever heard of the term flat back stitch until I fell down the rabbit hole on YouTube of watching videos, and like you can see from a distance, it looks good, right? And you can kind of see up close, or really up close, the stitching. I don't give a shit. I mean, why are you staring that close at my quilt? Why? Just get up. Once it's done, lay under. This is gonna be my first quilt for me. I mean, like my quilt. It's probably be in our bedroom, my quilt. Anyways, I can't remember. I just whip stitch, and so you can't see that. As long as you use thread that's pretty close to the color you're using. Like I didn't on here. I started off using pink. I'm not sure why, because there's a lot of pink. I messed up this block. This is supposed to be not. These two aren't supposed to be together. So that makes me mad. But I'm not going back and undoing it. I'm not picking those tiny stitches. I take tiny stitches. Fuck that. Not doing it. Just have to live with it. But like around the red, you can see it more because I was using a light pink. But anyways, flat back stitching. I showed you. I stitch like this. Fold it, hold it. Flat back stitching is where you hold them together like this. Okay. I can't nest my things. Okay, you nest them. You don't bend them. You sew it like this. And apparently you're not supposed to see the stitches on the other side. I tried it. Yeah. So I tried it on this one. And you can't. You can't see the thread at all. You can see a little bit down here. Not enough. But oh my gosh, I did not enjoy that process at all. They sell things to help you do it better, like long magnets that you can, magnetize them together. You can clip them with my little clips I just broke, like clip them together. There's another way. Someone sells something that's like a piece of plastic that you lay them on, like, right side down, lay it on, and then you put like magnets on, and then you just hold that plastic, and it's supposed to be easier in your hand, and you sew, it's flat, you sew flat. I didn't like it. I gave it a try. I'd never in my life heard of it. There's a lot of videos on YouTube about it. It's an interesting concept, and it's supposed to be nicer because obviously you're not scrunching your whole block. You're not bending all of this like this to do this, to sew this. You're not doing, figuring out how to because that can be, you know, there's a lot of sides you have to sew. But I didn't like the flat back, and I didn't have anything to hold it together, so I was using my hands. I don't have long magnets, and I didn't like the snaps. I keep calling them snaps. They're not snaps. Wonder clipped on it. So I'm just gonna keep on bending. And I know some people also it's good because then they can reuse if they don't bend up their hexagon papers, they can reuse them. I throw them away. I know, I'm sorry. I throw them away. It's a waste, but I've got my money's worth. I've been using them for 19, 20, 22, 23, almost 4 years. So, you know, I got my money's worth. I buy them online at like hexagonsomething.com. I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, so that's my EPP quilt project. We'll see if I can undo and show you a couple of the blocks. And I have some of the longer strips of color and the smaller blocks of color cut out. Oh no, I just have 2 random strips. I have no idea what they go to. I'll have to find a purple set they go to. I think maybe that's it. Oh, there are, you guys, I still have so many. Okay, I'm gonna hold it up and I'll show you how many blocks I still have to go through. How many blocks I still have to make. That's a pretty green. I don't know if I can get them all in my hands. So I still have to make all these into blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'll try and count the wonder clips, hold them together. But yeah, so these all have to be made into box. That's a lot. And then I've got these blocks done. You see some of the strips. So I've got like, oh hey, it's been so long since I worked on this. I have not been keeping them in the whole time. I guess once I finished a block, I took out the papers. Oh, that's good to know. I'm ahead of myself. I'm already making my life easier. Thank you, past Sarah. But like, see my pink blocks. And then I got, oh my gosh, my nose. Got some yellow green blocks. A lot of the same fabrics, because when I started this, I did not have a very big fabric stash, which is kind of sad now, because I had some really pretty fabrics that would be good in this quilt, but here we are. And then I was obviously doing I was color working. I was doing all the colors of you know what I mean, blocks of the same colors. And then my red and orange blocks. Oh, and I've already got some gray sashing, which I don't know if I have any more of this gray, so I'm gonna take this gray out. I'm gonna have to take this gray out. There's a note in here for me. I don't know what it says. It's got numbers on it, which mean nothing to me at this point. Yeah, I'm gonna take this gray out because this was the gray I was planning on using apparently, but I didn't bother to write down what gray it was. And I've used a lot of gray, like you saw in my Edgar Allan Poe quilt. So I'm not sure what I was thinking when I did that. Let's go ahead and put that to the side and put it in my stash. All right, so anyways, so there's my yellow and red. That one is, he's not strictly orange, but he was cute and I wanted him in there. I remember that. And then my yellow and oranges. And then I have the yellow orange strips apparently cut out for that already. And hey, is that white? Oh, it's yellow. But yeah, so that was definitely a lamb that I just did. See my yellow and orange. Yellow and orange. Yeah, so I got a fair amount of blocks done, but I have a fair more to do. I think this might be a queen size quilt. I'm gonna have to organize all this stuff again, but I don't feel like doing it right now. Especially now I discovered random gray fabric in there. But that's my hexagon quilt. That's gonna take me a bazillion years to do. So yeah, that's all I've got for you guys. Like I said, no haul. No one to mention. If I've been shouted out, I don't know because I haven't watched any videos recently. I'm sorry. I will this weekend try to catch up on Flosstube finally. And like I mentioned the other few days ago and got caught up instead fell down a sewing rabbit hole. Yeah, anyways, okay. Blah, blah, blah. There. Ramble. Thanks for coming by. If you're new, I appreciate it. It's nice to see you. I promise. I was gonna say I promise it's usually better, but I probably shouldn't make that promise. But yeah, I'll see you again in 2 weeks. Again, because I'm addicted to Baldur's Gate 3. Go play it if you haven't. It's fantastic. And I hope where you're at, it has not been raining for 3 days straight, because that sucks. Okay, you guys, for real. Bye.